They said a janitor is invisible, just another face mopping floors in the background. But the night Navy Admiral Serena Hale opened the restricted training bay door and caught single dad Marcus Reed in the act, nothing prepared her for what she witnessed. It wasn't wrongdoing. It wasn't disobedience. It was something so powerful, so deeply human, that it shook her to her core, and changed the fate of the entire base. Stay with me, because what she saw is something no one, especially not a hardened admiral, could forget. Marcus Reed had been cleaning the same hallways for nearly 6 years, slipping quietly through the echoes of boots and orders on the naval base. Everyone knew him as the single dad who kept to himself, the man who never complained even when life hit him harder than most. He wore an old navy blue janitor uniform, the stitching fading near the collar, but he carried himself with a quiet dignity that came from surviving more than he ever spoke about. His daughter Layla, a bright-eyed 11-year-old with curly hair and a backpack covered in handmade patches, was the light he lived for. Every morning, he walked her to the school buses parked outside the base before beginning his shift. Every night, he checked her homework under the weak glow of the lamp in their small rented room off base. Life was fragile, but simple. He liked simple. Simple meant safe. What no one knew was that Marcus was hiding something that would soon draw the attention of the toughest woman on the base. Admiral Serena Hale wasn't the type to let things slide. She was known for her stone-cold discipline, her precise steps across the deck, her impossible expectations. But behind the uniform, she carried a weight she never spoke of. She had lost people, good people, and she had built walls around her heart so tall not even sunlight could touch them anymore. She believed in one thing: strength. Strength kept the Navy alive. Strength kept her moving. Strength kept her heart locked away. Late one evening, after a long day of reviewing failing training reports, she walked through the dim corridor toward the restricted training bay, irritated and craving solitude. The base was mostly quiet, the hum of machines echoing faintly. She wasn't expecting anyone to be there. No one should have been, but as she approached, she heard something: quick breaths, quiet movement, a soft grunt, as if someone was training hard in a room meant for elite officers only. Her jaw tightened. Someone was violating access rules. She reached for the keypad, entered her authorization code, and slowly opened the door. What she saw stopped her breath. There, under the harsh fluorescent lights, was Marcus. The janitor. The quiet man no one paid attention to. Except he wasn't mopping floors. He wasn't cleaning equipment. He was training like a soldier who had been forged in fire, fast, precise strikes against a worn-down dummy, sweat streaking down his face, muscles burning with focus and discipline. His movements were controlled, tactical, far too skilled for a civilian janitor. She froze, watching silently. He moved with the posture of a man who had once belonged somewhere else, somewhere dangerous. And every punch looked like it was thrown against the battles he could not speak about. Then she noticed something else. On the far bench, a small backpack with handmade patches. Layla's. Was she here too? But before she could process it, Marcus turned, and froze when he saw her, his face drained. Panic flickered in his eyes. The mop he always carried suddenly felt like a disguise he could no longer hold. Admiral, I can explain, he stammered. Serena stepped forward, voice cool but sharp enough to cut through steel. You better. This room is off limits to unauthorized personnel. Who trained you? And why are you here, after hours, doing this? Marcus swallowed hard, his breath still shaking from exertion. Because, he said quietly, this is the only place where I can be the man I used to be, without disappointing the man I have to be now. Serena frowned. And what man is that? A father, he whispered. The admiral wasn't expecting that answer. And she wasn't expecting what she was about to learn next. Marcus stood in the center of the empty training bay, the air thick with the weight of unspoken truths. The admiral's presence loomed over him like a storm he'd spent years trying to outrun. He didn't want this. He never wanted anyone to know who he used to be. But there was no turning back. My daughter, he began, but his voice cracked. She's sick. The treatments, he paused, breathing sharp. They're expensive. More than I can afford. So I took this job because it allowed me to be near her school and keep her safe. But I'm losing time. I'm losing options. Serena's expression softened only slightly. She had heard desperate stories before. But something about this one felt different, raw, unpolished, painfully honest. Marcus continued, wiping sweat from his brow. I train here because if she needs me, if anything happens, I have to be ready. I can't let her see me as weak. I can't let her think her dad gave up. Serena studied him, her eyes narrowing, not in judgment, but in realization. You weren't always a janitor, were you? Marcus shook his head. No, ma'am. I was special operations. But when my wife passed, my daughter needed stability more than the Navy needed me. So I walked away. I gave up everything to protect her. He clenched his fists, ashamed. But now I can't even give her the life she deserves. For the first time in years, Serena Hale felt something crack in her chest. She saw in Marcus a reflection of the sacrifices she had once made, and the ones she regretted not making. She took a slow breath. Marcus, you shouldn't be training here. But you also shouldn't be wasting potential that could save lives, including your daughter's. Before he could respond, footsteps echoed from the doorway. Layla peeked inside, clutching her backpack, her eyes tired but hopeful. Daddy. Are you done? She asked softly. Marcus froze, guilt twisting inside him. Yeah, sweetheart. Give me just a second. Serena looked between them, seeing the bond, the tenderness, the quiet bravery of a man fighting battles no one could see. Something inside her shifted. She knelt slightly so she was at Layla's height. Your dad is a strong man, Serena said gently. But even strong people need help sometimes. Layla looked confused, glancing up at Marcus. He couldn't speak. His throat was tight. Serena stood again, turning to him with a firmness that carried both authority and unexpected compassion. Report to my office tomorrow morning, she said. We're going to talk about getting you reinstated. And we're going to find a way to support your daughter's treatment. You're not doing this alone anymore. Marcus blinked, stunned. Ma'am, why would you do that? Serena looked at him with a softness she rarely allowed. Because strength isn't just about the battles we fight. It's about who we fight for. And your daughter deserves a father who isn't hiding in the shadows. She stepped back toward the door, her voice steady. And maybe I need a reminder of what real courage looks like. As the Admiral walked away, Marcus felt a weight lift off his chest for the first time in years. He pulled Layla into his arms, holding her tight. The world wasn't fixed. The future wasn't certain. But for the first time, hope didn't feel impossible, and he had no idea just how much this moment would change not only his life, but the life of the Admiral who had just reopened a door she'd kept locked for far too long.